Hey guys, welcome to my video on equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. In this video, I'm going to show you how to write equations in slope-intercept form and in point-slope form. Again, this is just a little bit of a review from Algebra 1, okay? All right, so let's review a couple of things here. Sloped lines. So vertical lines have no slope, or the slope is undefined. Horizontal has a slope of 0, and the ones that are slanted, whether they're slanted increasing from left to right or slanted decreasing from left to right, they're named as sloped lines. Okay, so the slope is calculated as m is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And the y-intercept is the point where it crosses the y-axis. Okay, all right, so let's begin. There are three different forms in Algebra 1 when you're writing a line. You can either write it in slope-intercept form, more notably known as y equals mx plus b. You can write it in standard form, ax plus by equals c, or you can write it in point-slope form, y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Okay, let's talk about the slope-intercept form. The slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. M is the one that stands for the slope, and B is the one that stands for y-intercept. All right. It says here, write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form that includes the points 0, 5, and 2, 9. To do this, we can use the slope-intercept form. So if we want it in y equals mx plus b, first and foremost, we have to find out what the slope is, and we have to find out what the y-intercept is. All right, so that's why it's called slope-intercept form, because these are the two values that you need. You need the slope and you need the y-intercept. If you recall, the slope is calculated as y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Y sub 2 here is 9, minus y sub 1 here is 5. X sub 2 here is 2, minus x sub 1 here is 0. 9 minus 5 is equivalent to 4. And 2 minus 0 is equivalent to 2. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So now we know that the slope is equal to 2. Now the y-intercept. Recall that the y-intercept is where x is equal to 0, or where it crosses the y-axis. Well, if you look here, the y-intercept was actually given to us. That's not always the case, but in this case it is. 0, 5 is the y-intercept because x is equal to 0. So therefore, we know that the y-intercept represented with the letter b is equal to 5. Once you have the two values that you need in your equation, rewrite it in slope-intercept form. In the form of y equals mx plus b, m here is 2, so this becomes 2x, and b here is 5, so the equation here altogether is y equals 2x plus 5. And that's how you write in slope-intercept form. Okay, let's take a look at a different form called point-slope form. We use point-slope form so that we can write the equation of a line based on one point and based on the slope. So let's take a look. Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Again, m is your slope. x1 and y1 is just any point on the line. It doesn't matter whether that point is the y-intercept, x-intercept, or any point at all on that line. It doesn't matter. So that's why we use the point-slope form. So it says here, write the equation of a line in point-slope form that passes through the point 6, negative 7, and the slope is 5. So in this case, we don't have to calculate the slope because the slope is already given to us. All we have to do here is plug in the values that we know. We know this is x1, we know this is y1, and we know this is m. So all I'm going to do is use the formula of point-slope form. So this is y minus negative 7 is equal to 5, which is the slope, times x minus x sub 1 is positive 6. All right. Now all we have to do is reduce or simplify. You can't have double negative, so we want to simplify that as a positive 7. Then here we want to distribute 5 times x minus 6, which is 5x. And then, well, you know what? Let me backtrack real quick. So this 5 times x minus 6, this is actually in point-slope form. Okay, so if they ask you, okay, leave it in point-slope form, this is the form where you would leave it as. All right. However, if they ask you to write it in slope-intercept form, then you have to isolate y by itself. So if you had y plus 7 is equal to 5 times x minus 6, then you have to distribute 5 to the x, which becomes 5x, and then 5 to the negative 6, which becomes negative 30. And then on this side, you have to subtract 7 because you want to leave y by itself. And that's how you're able to switch in between these two forms. So now this becomes 5x minus 37. So this equation right here, 5x minus 37, is in slope-intercept form. And this equation right here, this portion, so I'm just going to highlight it for you. So this right here is in point-slope form. So I'm just going to write point-slope form. Okay? And that is a review in Algebra 1. All right. Tune into my next video. Thanks for watching.